Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about if you need a sign to not text your ex. Here it is. So basically, when you are hoping to get back with your ex, there isn't really a lot that you need to do. Because if your ex still loves you and still cares about you, they will reach out to you eventually. And that's just a fact. So I get a lot of people also talking to me about people that they're dealing with an ex that's an avoidant or an ex that's really stubborn. And if you are dealing with, or you believe you're dealing with someone who's has these avoidant type behaviors, or they are someone who is stubborn, then I suggest that you move on from this ex completely. Because if you are with someone who avoids things or is stubborn, then that's going to make your life really, really difficult if you get back together. Because no doubt, life is already pretty difficult right now, right? If you're dealing with someone who is stubborn. Um, so, and what I mean by this is that if you ever have an argument, or if you, even when they're in the wrong, if you're the one that's always having to apologize and fix things because they're too stubborn to, then you're the one that's always going to be being the peacekeeper, the one that's always trying to resolve things. And that just makes life very, very tiring. You really ideally want to find someone who is like you, who is a good communicator, who isn't going to give you the silent treatment or make you and force you to make things right when actually it was their fault. So it's never a good idea to date someone and be in a relationship with someone who's that stubborn. Now, we can all have stubborn tendencies, for this thing or another thing. But if you're dealing with someone who is stubborn when it comes to those sort of vital things like communication and owning up to their own mistakes, then it's probably best that this ex stays an ex. And for most times, I would say that an ex should always stay an ex, right? Which is another reason why you shouldn't be messaging this person, because more than likely it's probably a good idea that the breakup happened. The only time that I say is a good idea to get back with an ex is if you two broke up over like a huge misunderstanding, if you broke up over things that just weren't true. So what I mean by that is if like a third person got involved and started to cause a wedge between you two, such as like a friend, obviously not someone like a lover, like let's say you cheated or she cheated or he cheated, or whoever your partner is. If that's the case, then obviously if cheating was involved, then it's probably not a good idea to get back together. But what I mean by a person putting a wedge between you, like it could be a mutual friend, it could be a family member, and they've been spreading lies about you or about the other person that caused the breakup. And usually when it's been like a misunderstanding such as that, it could be another kind of misunderstanding might be they thought that you cheated when you didn't. When it comes to misunderstandings like that, those are the cases where I say, okay, yeah, it's probably a good idea to get back together because it was just a huge misunderstanding, or perhaps you made a few mistakes here and there that you didn't mean to do and that caused the breakup. So you got to be really focused on that and whether that was a good idea or not, because it's not a good idea to get back with an ex, typically. Okay, so if you need a sign to not text your ex, this is it. Okay, and also, like I was saying at the beginning, like if your ex really still loves you and cares about you, they will reach out to you eventually. So something that I went through. Now, this wasn't with an ex that I wanted to get back with, but I did have an ex come back into my life. And basically, so we broke up, the breakup happened, and we weren't friends anymore on social media. I can't remember if I unfriended her or she unfriended me. I think she unfriended me, but I can't remember. It was such a long time ago now. But anyway, what happened was she then re-added me. She reached out and re-added me on Facebook. And I accepted the request. I didn't really care because I wasn't... I was at that stage where I didn't really care what was going on with this person because I had not had any more feelings for them. I was completely over it. So they added me and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And the next thing that happened is that I think it may have been the same day or it may have been a couple of days later, but afterwards she actually reached out to me. So not only did she send me a friend request, but she then reached out to me via Messenger. And then we started talking for a little bit. And during that time, I was contemplating, like, okay, maybe, maybe I should date her again. And I was thinking about that, not because I had any feelings for her, but because I was still curious as to what maybe could happen and if there was something salvageable there. Because the reason that I didn't want to be with her anymore was because I found out that she was a compulsive liar. So what I really wanted to do is I wanted to meet up with her and confront her about that and ask her about it. And also, I probably didn't have anything better to do at the time. At the time. Anyway, but anyway, that never happened. I decided, no, I don't really want to see you anymore, and we'd even made plans to meet up, but I just didn't commit to it. I never ended up going. But the point being is this is how your ex, if they still love you and care about you and have feelings for you, this is how they will try and get back into your life. They will start testing the waters first by maybe adding you again on Facebook, like what this girl did to me, or they may refollow you on Instagram, or and then after a few days they will reach out to you, because once they've tested the waters and they've seen that they've done that first baby step and you accepted, then it looks like they're going to start reaching out to you. So what you want to do is you don't want to do anything. You just want to see what they do. Because if, like I said, if they still have feelings for you and they still like you and they still want to be with you, they're going to reach out. They're going to talk to you. You don't have to do anything. You don't need to text your ex. Okay? And your situation may be similar to mine. Now, of course, you can be like me and then decide then if you want to get back with this person. I contemplated it. I contemplated meeting up with her. I contemplated going out on another date with her. And I decided I didn't want to, because I just felt like it was going to be too much work, and I wanted to be with someone who was honest. And this person just wasn't honest. And we were both like in the beginning of our 20s when this kind of thing, when this scenario happened. And what I realized was, okay, we all make fibs. We all lie when we're like teenagers and when we're children. We sometimes, you get kids that are like compulsive liars. I used to lie about a bunch of stuff when I was a teenager because my life was quite boring, right? And I thought that I needed to tell my peers other things about my life, because I didn't want to tell them that I had been at home all weekend doing nothing, or the fact that I had to hang out with my older brother, who was like a demon in my life at the time, and he was very horrible and mean to me and controlling and manipulative and abusive. And I didn't want to talk about that side of my life. I didn't want to, so I made stuff up, right? I made up crazy stuff when I was, especially when I started secondary school. Because I think around that time, when you're sort of in your preteens, you start to make up things about your life. So I get it. Like I get, if there's like kids out there and teenagers that make up stuff, because you never know what's going on in their lives, right? They may be using these cover stories because they've actually got nothing else to say. Or if they told their peers the truth, they would get questioning looks, and, it would open up Pandora's box, right? But when you get to like your 20s, right, and you're still being a compulsive liar, there's a problem, there's an issue there. And I just didn't want to have that with this girl anymore, and I just wasn't gonna go for it anymore. So that's sort of like my story of an ex coming back. And, maybe the situation will be similar for you in the future. Who knows, right? Maybe your ex will reach out that way, and then the same way that my ex did. And you can find out then if you really want to be with that person. You need to make that decision for yourself and think, okay, is this the right thing to do? Because sometimes when we break up with someone, we look back at the relationship with nostalgia, and we think about the good times and how amazing things were. Because these are the things that got me back into a relationship I should have left quite early on. And I talk about this quite a lot on my channel, but I was in a relationship with a woman for about a year, when I was about 19, 20, something like that. And so I was with her for a year. And I kept on going back to her, even because she kept on cheating on me multiple times. So I'd break up with her and then I'd get back together with her, thinking that things would change this time and she would stop cheating on me. And that never happened. She kept on doing it. So eventually we did break up completely. And I never went back to her anymore. But you can see how that kind of thing can happen, because what I was doing is I was looking back at the relationship with nostalgia. I kept on thinking about the first few weeks when we got together, when everything was amazing, and I was like falling in love, and it just felt amazing. I thought I was falling in love, and it just felt amazing. And I kept on thinking, oh, we can get back to that time, we can get back to that place. Yeah, she cheated on me, but maybe, the past was so good that maybe we can get back to that place. And it just never happened. I just kept on looking at the relationship with these rose-tinted glasses, always thinking about the beginning when things were great. And And, you know, eventually I just got sick of it. I just got sick of being cheated on. I got sick of being in that relationship. And but that's what happened with me. You know, sometimes we can look back at the relationship with rose tinted glasses and not look at the truth of what's actually going on, because we're too busy looking at it with nostalgia. So try to avoid that. Try and think of the bad stuff too, right? Think of the red flags. Think of the things that weren't so great, because more than likely, you know, your ex is an ex for a reason. So do not text your ex. You don't need to. If they still like you, if they still want to be with you, you'll hear from it. You'll hear from them eventually, okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christinelovers.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.